You are about to witness bodily dismemberment, sub-zero temperatures, and all-out mayhem. Brought to you by the Frontline Network.
Sup, SUH fans, and welcome to the 7th Company of Heroes 2 Betacast, brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and my good friend Tommy. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, FatalSaint? I am very excited to be here once again, casting a game, a 1v1 this time, back on the Kolodmi Ferma battlefields. One of the more interesting 1v1 maps, in particular because it was chosen to be the 1v1 map played in a recent 1v1 tournament. Yes, a beta tournament was played in the last couple of days over this last weekend, and it was a double elimination tournament. They used a variety of maps, and this is a game from the from the kind of the semi-finals, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from the winner's bracket. As it's a double elimination tournament, you can potentially get knocked out in an early round but still make it to the finals, because then you get knocked down to a loser's bracket, and then you have to fight your way through all of the other people that have lost in the winner's bracket, so to speak, and then you can actually manage to fight your way all the way to the finals again. But the winner from the winner's bracket has an upper hand, as he has been undefeated all the way to the finals, so they do get a slight upper hand there. But we do actually have kind of like the winner's brackets finals now, or the semi-finals, depending on how you look at it. It's kind of hard when it comes to a double elimination tournament. But we actually have Barton playing as the Austere and SunAngel playing as the Soviets here. And this is game 2 of that finals/semi-finals game.
Yes, I'm very excited to be jumping into it. So let's be going from the 5-second mark, and we'll unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yep, and we do have Barton actually starting out by building a second Pioneer, just like I tend to do when I play 1v1s and even 2v2s as well. I always get that extra Pioneer in the beginning, just potentially to be upgraded to flamethrowers, or, you know, as long as I can afford it and I don't have to use my munitions for Fausts or rifle grenades on my Grenadiers, for example. I always try to get the double flamers, because the double flamers are so potent, so powerful in Company of Heroes 2, and you can really dish out some nice damage to that Soviet elite infantry like guards and shock troops, which are kind of hard to deal with your tier 1 Grenadiers, for example. You really need that extra oomph that you get from the flamethrower pioneers.
Yeah, the flamethrowers in this game are incredibly powerful, and we're seeing already a bit of tournament play from Barton. He's rushing straight for the VP in the middle, but then he tried to grab the building, but it was stolen by the combat engineers.
Yeah, SunAngel on top of his micro there, grabbing the building before Barton gets to do his little nifty thing that he tried to do there, vaulting over that heavy cover wall to get through the door on that building, on kind of on the Soviet side of this map right now, as the Soviets are starting on the left-hand side and the Austere player Barton is starting on the right-hand side. But SunAngel saw that and actually nicked the building for himself. And as we can see here, the Pioneers are fairly weak. They are in green cover, and so were the combat engineers. They barely took any damage whatsoever, and they've actually managed to inflict one casualty on the Pioneer squad from Barton, and they are now fleeing, trying to run around this hedge here. And it looks to me like Barton might actually be trying to go for a decap on the munitions point, or the building again, maybe.
It's rushing for the building.
Very close. Both of them are going to try to go for it.
They're both having to vault over the fence. Nice use of vaulting there. Who's going to get it? Actually, the Pioneers got it there.
Oh, the Pioneers got it. The combat engineers are knocking on the door, but the Pioneers are not letting them in. That's not very nice of Barton. Actually, his Pioneers nicking the building right in front of the combat engineers' faces there. And we do have the first tier 1 unit from Barton now coming onto the center to support his Pioneers in that building, a Grenadier squad, and we also have an MG coming onto the field from Barton. What do we have from SunAngel so far?
SunAngel, he's just going for the straight-up conscript spam. He went for a single combat engineer start, and that's the one that's been in the fight in the middle here, and so far we've had 3 conscripts out from him, so he has a bit of a window of opportunity to exploit here, because while Barton only has 1 Grenadier up in the middle, he has 3 conscripts, and 2 of them are right here in the center.
Yeah, and I can see one conscript is coming down. He's actually grabbed a strategic point just outside of the Axis base, and the MG is actually on the move. So if this conscript can catch him off guard here before he sets up, Barton nicely micros away from that conscript squad, which is trying to go for the decap on the munitions point on this map just outside of the Oster base, and the MG sets up, gets a nice suppression burst on it. But at the same time, we do have a second conscript squad now coming in from the center after forcing off the Grenadier and the Pioneer in the building as well. Nice flip of the MG from Barton. He might get a burst off. He does get a burst off. He
does get that suppression on, but the other conscript squad is still behind him. He's going to try and flip that again, I think, but he might be forced to retreat here.
He's unsuppressed, and it actually forces Barton completely off the field. The only unit on the field left for Barton is his second Pioneer, which is capping the fuel in the south. And it looks to me like Barton is going for, you know, he's trying to focus on the center and the south side of the map, while the conscript squads from SunAngel has capped all the way up in the north, but actually haven't gone for the 2 VPs in the north.
Yeah, that's interesting. SunAngel really just ignoring the VPs at this point. But he is really playing a very aggressive capping game. He's already taken that cutoff that cuts off the fuel from Barton. Actually, he's taken virtually every sector from Barton. Barton has no proper resource income at all.
A second Grenadier squad and also a second MG now from Barton moving onto the field. So he's going to go with the 2 Pio 2 Gren and 2 MG build so far. And now we do have this massive attack. We do get actually a suppression off on one of the conscript squads, and the other one throws a Molotov on that MG, but Barton is quick to unpack and move away from the flame damage.
That conscript squad is taking a lot of damage there. They'll be lucky if they can get out of there with their lives. They actually get Vet 1 on retreat, and look at those Molotovs doing a lot of damage. The MG is just sitting in the flames. Often
I think one of the conscripts actually died to the Molotov, the friendly Molotov, because he retreated through the flames and he caught on fire. His clothes caught on fire. He ran around in some excruciating pain, I believe, and actually died on retreat. But he did manage to salvage that squad. He was down to 1 man, but he is still alive.
SunAngel keeping up the pressure here, just sending more and more conscripts into the battle here, using the Molotovs. Here we go. Here comes another Molotov. Right on top of that low health Gren squad. That Gren squad's got to be forced to retreat. Yeah, getting some nice kills in there. Really making good use of those Molotovs. To be honest, I felt that since the beta, compared to the alpha, the Molotovs were kind of subpar. But actually, SunAngel's putting them to really good use here. Flushing units out of cover and doing a lot of damage to low health units.
Yeah, Barton's first 60 munitions went into a flamethrower upgrade on one of his Pioneers, the one that was mainly undamaged, which had just been capping around on the south, and he's now laying in the hurt on the conscript squad, forcing them to retreat. And most of the Soviet units are actually back in base, reinforcing from SunAngel, apart from this one conscript squad up north, actually now capturing the VPs. He's gonna have a triple cap of the VPs on Barton for a very small window here, as Barton is reclaiming the center now.
Yeah, there's a lot of force here. We've got a Flamer, 2 MGs, and a Gren there, although that Gren is very low health. It's good. SunAngel's got to be careful garrisoning this building now, because there's a Flamer just waiting to burn him out.
Wow, he took quite a lot of health damage just from that small burst from the flamethrower, and he's going to take even more damage now. And the Grenadier actually goes around the building, just executing the conscripts as they exit the door, and then the Grenadiers run into the building. Thank you for vacating my building. I'll have some of that. Thank you very much.
Look at this beautiful flank! Where did these conscripts come from? They've just come from every direction here. Flanking the MG in the center, focus firing it down. Molotov goes in. Beautiful stuff here from SunAngel. He's trying to focus down and kill that MG42 on retreat there. I don't think he's going to quite get it. We have to hit the dirt ability pop from SunAngel. He just hit that doctrine that allowed him to get hit the dirt. He is lying motionless on the ground, but he is in negative cover here. It's going to force him to retreat as he's taking a lot of damage from this MG and retreating right through the MG fire.
Oh, the MP40 gunners on that MG actually executes that one-man conscript squad. Vet 1 as well. Lost him on retreat. Very, very sad day for the Soviet army right there, losing one of his first conscript squads.
That was a shame. He's actually rebuilding that conscript. He wants those 4 conscripts. He doesn't want to have 3. He wants to have 4. And look at these awesome fire effects. That building is now actually on fire. It's burning.
Yeah, everything's burning. There's smoke all over my map, combined with this blizzard, which is going to hit in approximately 20 seconds, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. that timer is going down, and there's a Molotov thrown in the building with the Grenadiers in it, and they are forced to vacate that unless they want to burn to death inside of that building. But we do actually have another triple cap on the VPs very soon against Barton. So Barton is sitting on the fuel in the south, but at the same time the Soviet is sitting on the fuel on the north, and at the same time have all 3 VPs in possession. So Barton needs to grab the VPs in the north. He's sending actually 2 squads out now, 2 of his 3 Grenadier squads, which he builds from the tier 1 building, up north instead, to start capping the VPs, because he knows, probably from playing quite a lot of V-Code, that if you just leave your opponent with a triple cap for too long, all of a sudden you've lost 200 VPs very rapidly.
Now look at this use of hit the dirt being used here. He uses Ura to charge into close range, then uses the ability to hit the dirt, and he's actually immune to suppression while he's on the ground. So he's still able to fire constantly, but he doesn't actually take any of the negatives of suppression besides not being able to move. It's almost better than cover.
Yeah, these double MGs, however, from Barton is quite hard to crack with your conscripts, especially just 1 or 2 lone squads. Yeah, but Barton actually maneuvers his MGs quite rapidly after seeing the throwing animation from the conscripts trying to throw a Molotov.
No,
you have a mortar out now from a Soviet player. Very interesting. At the same time, we do have tier 2 out, and the first unit out from that from Barton is a half-track.
Half-track versus mortar. I think I know who's going to win the tech war, but I don't know. I mean, the mortar could be useful. He is facing lots of MGs, so I guess it's a reaction replay. And when units, and especially in blizzards, because you know, of course, where your opponent's going to be. You know where the fires are, and if you know where the fires are, you know where your opponent's going to be camping. So a mortar can be really useful.
Barton has now reclaimed the fuel in the north, so he's in possession of both of the high fuels on Kolodny Firma battlefield right now, but we do have PPSH upgrades for the conscripts, and hopefully he can use that combined with hit the dirt. But look at that MG in the center now. Due to the blizzard, the MG and the PPSH conscript can't actually see each other.
Wow, how close are these conscripts going to get before they get seen? Oh wow, no, the gunner gets killed instantly. That was a lucky crit.
Critted.
He's going to chuck a Molotov there. This could be really nasty here for this MG. If he gets focus fired down on retreat, he could lose it, and that would be a big loss for him. The Soviet player also, very interesting stuff from SunAngel. He got the mortar, and then he's now got on himself a 6-man MG. A Soviet Maxim MG has been used.
Ooh, very cool. The half-track was upgraded to a Flammenwerfer, actually, and he forced off some combat engineers in the south trying to grab that fuel. He did decap it, but he could never capture it for the Soviet cause. So still, the Soviet player SunAngel now finds himself without any high fuel points captured.
We've got 2 SMG conscripts up here in the north, a very potent force indeed, especially when they're using that hit the dirt ability, really adds their survivability, and a Molotov on top of that. These Grenadiers are going to be forced away here. Nice job by SunAngel. But I have a feeling this Flammenwerfer is going to pose a real problem for SunAngel, because he didn't even go for tier 1, which is where you get your guards and shock troops out of, which might have provided a bit of soft AT against the hard track. He's just gone straight for tier 2. And then following that, he's gone for tier 3, which is going to allow him to start building T-34s and T-70s and that kind of stuff.
He needs to reclaim the fuel in the south or the north here, so he can get a steady, nice fuel income and maybe build a T-34 or at least a T-70 to counter this flamer half-track right now for Barton. It's a very potent weapon in Company of Heroes 2. Just flames generally are very, very strong.
So we're back down to 3 conscripts again. It looks like one of the conscripts wants to have gone down again, but it's 3 conscripts, 2 of them with assault packages. One of them is actually vet 2 already, and then a mortar and an MG combination as well. So quite a nice combined arms force. And now we actually have another unit. The tier 3 was cancelled by SunAngel, and instead he's building the field gun, the AT gun.
Ooh, the AT gun is most likely a reaction to seeing the half-track, most obviously, and it's also good against MGs, for example, as you can use its secondary ability to fire a light artillery barrage. You know, combine that with the mortar, and those MGs are losing their effectiveness quite rapidly right now.
Ooh, Soviet mortar raining down on this German infantry squad there and doing a lot of damage, but no kills. Here comes the Flammenwerfer now, 8 kills already. But he hasn't really found any nice big blob of infantry to torch yet. He's just been forced to run around after SunAngel's troops. But now he's going to find himself a nice combat engineer squad to roast.
Oh, nice bundle nade on that mortar squad. Takes down one man and quite a lot of health as well, but doesn't actually manage to decrew it completely. And due to the maximum MG in the building, he got suppressed with the Panzer Grenadier. So after throwing that bundle nade, he was forced to retreat. Let's see if he has 18 nades now on these conscripts, maybe.
He does. They're reaching for it. They throw them.
There's 1, 2. It's very low health. Vet 1 for that 2. Vet 2, actually.
It could be. It's abandoned now. Oh, and the conscripts are going to go and grab it. This could be a huge win for him. He's facing a tier 2 player, and if he can get a Flammenwerfer. Oh no, it's going out of control again.
It goes out of control instantly to small arms fire from the Grenadiers in that building, but they do vacate as that half-track is very slowly going out of control due to that destroyed engine, the heavy engine damage it had before from the 2 18-8s from the conscripts.
But look at what that half-track allowed Barton to do. It gave him such dominance. He's capped just so much of the map right now. SunAngel pretty much stuck in his base. Too. Yeah, exactly. Unless we see another half-track or an armored car, it's going to be pretty useless. Oh, there's a nice rifle grenade used on the building with the MG, but actually does almost nothing.
Very little damage, yeah.
There's a very aggressive MG up here in the north.
The half-track finally explodes.
Oh, that was kind of out of control for a long time.
Yes, a very, very long time.
So there's one MG holding off the conscripts up in the north. Now being set up at the VP again, right next to the fire, always a good place. Second AMG moving to cover the fuel. I mean, Barton just has so much of the map right now in such a dominant position. It's a really bad place for SunAngel. He's going to need some tech or something to start breaking through. He has quite a lot of manpower and quite a lot of fuel, although not much income, obviously, due to not owning any of the fuel points. So he could start building his tier 3 building, get out a T-70, but I don't know what he needs to do.
We do have those Vet 2 conscripts now finding a Vet 1 Grenadier from Barton, and they're trying to trench through the thick snow to wait for that MG in the building to start opening up on them. He throws a Molotov before he's forced to retreat. The other MG on the left-hand side is trying to pin 2 conscript squads and hold them in place, but there's nothing there to actually support that MG, and he's now forced to pack up and maybe retreat as well due to the second conscript squad actually getting unsuppressed, unpinned.
Oh, nice, nice! Look at that, it was a rifle grenade used over the fence to take out one of the conscript squads. Or doing a lot of damage to him anyway, not actually taking him out. Panzer Grenadiers being put to good use here, opening up with those MP44s on the side of that building with the MG. Oh wow, these guys are just going to waltz right through here. But here comes a conscript squad. Conscripts with SMGs will beat Panzer Grenadiers, especially once you hit the dirt. Yeah.
The mortar is decrewed, and actually the last remaining guy that runs out from the map actually gets killed by the Panzer Grenadiers as well. And we did have a bundle thrown on the AT gun, damaging it severely down to 50% health approximately, but no men lost. Vet 3 conscripts now.
Wow, that's a quick Vet 3. That could be his route back into the game here for SunAngel, because he's actually lost his other conscript squad, which is a bit of a setback. But Tier 3 is finally going up, and another conscript is being rebuilt. Once Tier 3 comes up, he's going to have the fuel to start building a T-70 immediately, or he can wait for a couple of minutes and build himself a T-34. Judging by the fact that there's a Panzer IV rolling out, though, from Barton, he is going to need something serious right now, because I don't think one AT gun is going to cut it.
Rifle nade on the AT gun from that Vet 2 Grenadier squad does focus, really. And we do have a cutoff move from the Vet 3 conscripts, but due to the P4 rolling on to the field for Barton, they are forced to retreat before getting that cutoff. And right now, apart from the VP drain, which the Soviet player has kept as much as possible on Barton, he's not really sitting on a lot of the map.
No, it's a bad place for SunAngel to be right now. Facing a, I don't know, is a Blizzard going to make it easier or harder to deal with this P4? Because it's going to make seeing it with the AT gun a lot harder, but it's also going to make creeping up on it a little bit easier. He's able to get that conscript squad to throw an 18-8 nice and close there. The AT gun is still stationary. Well. Yep, MG sets up in the building.
The mortar was recruited by Comet engineers for SunAngel as well, most likely gonna try to dislodge that MG from Barton, and he's also bombarding the center where the P4 was. It is slowly reversing back past the center after getting 18-8 and getting a damage engine crit from that 18-8 from the conscript squad. The AT gun is moving up now for SunAngel as well, gonna try to get a better position and get some shots off, but due to the blizzards, the line of sight for both sides are severely decreased, so I don't think either of them can actually see each other now.
Yeah, it's very tough to see stuff in a blizzard. We actually had a Grenadier squad cloaked in the heavy snow up here in the north, and we're going to see it again with this. Yeah, that Panzer Grenadier squad, you can see the units individually cloaking, because during a blizzard, if you're in thick snow, you will become invisible, allowing you to launch all kinds of
surprise grenades.
Surprise attacks, yeah, exactly. Although I don't think they actually have the ability to hold fire, so it's
I don't think so either.
It's just a bit of a survivability thing more than anything else. So the T3 is out, still no sign of a T-70. He's sitting on 65 fuel, so he's got to be waiting for a T-34. T-34 plus the AT gun should be a nice counter to the Panzer IV. But actually, look at this: the church in the middle is getting shot down by the 76mm field gun. One or two more hits, it's actually going to go down.
We do have two conscripts, the Vet 3 conscript and a Vet 0 conscript, both hitting the dirt up here on the left-hand side north, just below the VP, fighting off two Grenadiers and a Panzer Grenadier squad. Rifle nades were used by Barton to severely damage one of the two conscript squad, but the Vet 3 conscript squad remains with 6 men as well, and Barton has been forced to retreat 2 out of 3 infantry squads from that fight now. And hit the dirt is cancelled, so he can pursue these Vet 2 Grenadiers from Barton now, traversing through that heavy snow.
Oh, an engineer goes down here in the south. That was a Vet 2 engineer as well. But even after all those conscripts are lost, SunAngel, he still knows exactly what he wants. He wants those 4 conscripts, and that's exactly what he's getting. He has rebuilt 2 conscripts to bring him back to that nice total of 4, giving him enough infantry to actually do something with. These Vet 3 conscripts really putting in the hurt. But, oh, here comes an Ostwind.
Oh, and he's retreat them! He doesn't retreat them, and he gets actually 2 casualties to 1 shot from the Ostwind there.
Wow, that was really unfortunate.
Extremely unfortunate for SunAngel. He needs all the veterans he can get right now, because the German infantry is also beginning to vet out quite heavily. He's got all 3 of the Grenadiers from Barton are still alive, and they're all Vet 2 now.
However, a T-34 is now on the way, which will certainly be a counter to the Ostwind, and the field gun will be a counter to the Panzer IV, so all is not lost at this point.
But he's severely lacking resources right now, and Barton is actually increasing his dominance of resources now by constructing or calling in Opel Blitz trucks, actually, which gives you extra resources.
Yes, I see those Blitz trucks there. We have SunAngel running into the center using Ura, getting up close to this Grenadier squad, but it is a Grenadier squad with an LMG, so getting up close isn't perhaps what you want to do.
P4 hanging around in the center trying to support any form of infantry there. He's got some Panzer Grenadiers, Vet 1 now, Barton as well. They should most likely go nick that VP in the center. But at the same time, Barton is in control of the 2 northern VPs with an Ostwind guarding them and an MG as well. A very hard force to break, I think, with only conscripts and AT guns. But a T-34 now on the field might tip the tide. It could send that up north, and the Ostwind doesn't really have much of a chance against something like a Russian T-34. It's an anti-infantry capability tank, and it's fairly decent against light vehicles like half-tracks, scouts cars, and T-70s. But apart from that, they can't really dent the armor on a T-34, the medium tank.
Oh no, no way. This P4, it got a damage engine from 1 conscript before it got forced to retreat. And actually this conscript is going to be forced to retreat as well. But here comes T-34 now, rolling up. It drove over a fire and got that nasty engine crit. But he's going to be able to decrew or actually get rid of this MG. That's a nice little win for him. He's going to be able to steal that.
Oh, stealing that MG and putting it in the north himself against the German forces after he's capped some VPs there could be very detrimental to the Oster fighting forces right now. And then Barton really needs to use his tanks, and if the T-34 is up there guarding those VPs as well, the Ostwind can't really do it, so he's going to be forced to send his P4 in that case, as he has no indirect fire right now. He's only got infantry and tanks, Barton.
The field gun tried to reset up, but Barton's doing a good job of hiding behind buildings and shot blockers to keep the AT gun well out of any kind of danger zone. And then we actually have the double Panzerschreck package on that Panzer Grenadier squad there. So that combined with a P4 should be able to actually counter the T-34 pretty well. So again, SunAngel finds himself a bit behind in the tech race. He needs something different, something new to break out. Maybe an artillery piece. He has unlocked one, although it does cost 600 manpower. Perhaps a sniper to start picking away. I don't know what he needs, but he needs something.
He does need something. SunAngel is trying to reclaim most of the north now, grabbing the 2 VPs. He's also in possession still of the VP in the center. It's been harassed by Barton as he's been moving around on the flanks more than going straight for the center due to the MG in the building. And he does know that there is a mortar and a AT gun somewhere as well, so he doesn't want to go straight into the center in fear of getting bombarded by mortars, getting suppressed, and then getting his tanks killed. Here comes the T-34 now, trying to support his conscript squad. In the center, just below the center here, there is a Grenadier squad which might be laying in a Panzerfaust. Let's see if they grab for it. The T-34 doing quite decent damage to this P4 now. Oh, he bounces a shot on the frontal armor. Faust goes in, P4 penetrates the T-34. It's a very even battle between these two medium tanks, but I think the edge goes to the T-34 right now. We do have a destroyed engine, heavy engine damage on that.
But he can't finish it off.
Oh, AT gas moving up though. If he needs to get some line of sight, it actually misses that P4, however. Oh, come on, one shot is all that's needed.
Oh, but
there
it's
we go,
abandoned.
it gets abandoned. But the Pioneers actually lost a guy due to splash damage, so he can't recruit with the Pioneers without losing it. Here comes the Panzer Grenadiers with a double Shrek now, however, that T-34 is severely damaged, gets hit by one of the Panzer Shrek.
He's in a real danger zone, but the Panzer Grenadiers retreat. This has been a nice couple of wins. Yeah, nice couple of minutes for the Soviet player. He's Panzer IV is left there, sitting there. If only a conscript squad could go up there. I can see the AT gun moving up. He might actually try and just destroy it rather than let Barton get it back from him. Yep, he's gonna actually just take it out.
Even if Barton recruits it now with his Grenadier squad, it has no main gun, and then it gets destroyed as well. And as we can see, compared to Competitive Heroes 1, Vico, you can actually cap points with support weapons as long as you're in that circle now. You don't actually have to physically touch the little point with your rifleman's hands to cap. You just have to stay in the vicinity of the point.
Although you can still cap in that way, which is good if you want to queue up multiple orders without having to individually micro your squads. Oh, there's an off-map coming in on the AT gun.
Bomb is used. It's very, very expensive, and here comes the plane. It does a massive amount of damage. Let's see what he gets with it. Oh, AT gun takes a beating, and the MG in the building is almost killed, down to one man. SunAngel instantly de-garrisoning the house and running away with his MG. Look how quick that last Soviet guy, I think he's really happy to be alive.
And now he just wants to get the hell out of there.
Get the hell out of Dodge. As quick as possible.
There's now 5 conscripts from SunAngel. I don't know whether that was an intentional rebuild, but he has gone for 5 conscripts now. That's a lot of capping power, and his army is really getting quite huge now. And whoa, look at that, lots of AT nades going in on this Oswind. He just needs to get a couple of AT shots in, or even just a couple of AT grenades will be enough to finish that thing off.
Yeah, if Barton loses that, that's the last remaining armor from Barton that can actually fight. He does have 2 Opel Blitz trucks as well, but they can't do any fighting, so to speak.
Oh, and down goes the Oswind. Now here come the SMGs to try and mop up the remaining infantry. They do have their work cut out for them, though. They're getting focus fired down. That Grenadier squad at Vet 2 at point-blank range, doing a lot of damage here. Forces one of the squads to retreat. The other one hits the dirt. We'll see if he can last any longer, but he doesn't have the SMG, so he's not quite as effective.
AT gun is actually decrewed, but it's not so much of a bother to the Soviet player SunAngel right now, as he did manage to kill that Oswind before, so he can just recruit later unless these Panzer Schrecked up Panzer Grenadiers are able to destroy it before he can get some forces there.
There's a whole army in SunAngel's base, but he just can't afford to all reinforce it at the same time with a manpower income of just plus 210.
Look how close the Pioneers in the north got to the MG before they actually saw each other due to the blizzard. They were
he
like
needs to move the MG though, it's freezing.
Oh yeah,
he can start losing all the individual men. He's close to the fire, but not close enough. In the recent patch, it was changed so that the radius is actually a lot smaller. The UI hasn't been updated yet, but it's actually a very small radius now to get the warming effect from the fire. You need to be very close. And look at this. Barton knows he's going to try and flank the MG because he knows roughly where it is.
We did have 2 Grenadier squads in the center grabbing that VP and then almost freezing to death. Barton did quite a risky move by moving them into a building. The one on the right-hand side of the VP that's almost destroyed. The building health is so low.
More Vet 2 Grenadiers and a Vet 3 Grenadier versus all these conscripts. I don't fancy the conscripts' chances, if I'm honest. But SMGs upgrade in the middle of the fight. This could be useful against the low health units. A Stug now rolls out. He's going to try and counter the T-34, but the thing is, SunAngel isn't building more AT guns. He isn't building more tanks. He's building more AT guns instead.
Ah, I see.
So he's already second-guessed that Stug. He's going to have it pretty much locked down. He has one AT gun in his control and another one decrewed.
Barton is losing a little bit of the territories right now. He did manage to decrew that stolen MG in the north, however, with a Flamer Pioneer Vet 2 now. Ooh, mortar though, on that cutoff. Barton is hanging in there trying to regain the cutoff so he can get the resources from the south side of the map, but his Grenadiers are actually freezing to death. One guy actually dropped to the ground.
Ooh, I see that.
Yeah, very painful. The blizzard has finally lifted.
Gone. We can see again. There's a whole conscript army just waiting to roll out here. The medics have gone to work. They've healed up the conscripts. They're all fully health now. All 5 conscripts, 2 of them with SMG assault packages. It's a pretty fearsome force, to be honest, especially when you throw and hit the dirt.
But at the same time, the German army from Barton is very highly veteran. They're all veterans right now. Vet 2 and Vet 3 for the entire army almost. All of Barton's infantry army is vetted up apart from one single pioneer. And there goes the AT gun, destroyed before it gets recruited by the Soviet player SunAngel. But at the same time, let's see who manages to win this.
Another off-map used.
Yeah, it's a strafing run against infantry used by Barton. Here it comes.
Whoa, it strafes a whole bunch of conscript infantry, pinning them to the ground, allowing these Grenadiers to simply mop up what remains. Nice Molotov.
A little blob, but there comes the strafing run already again and repins the 2 conscript squads furthest away from the VP, forcing them to retreat due to the plane circling around to have another go at the Soviet infantry.
The T-34 is back in action though, and that thing is, well, you could say it's pretty resistant to strafing runs. So he needs to start getting in there, doing some damage to all his infantry.
And that was the last strafe from that plane from Barton.
Look at this, the conscript charge. Oh no, but suppressed again by the strafing run. That thing just keeps on coming.
I thought it was done.
And his T-34 actually very low on health now. 1 Shrek or 1 Faust away from death, and he gets abandoned. Oh. That's actually very, very fortunate for SunAngel. If he can recrew that, he can just repair it, and he won't lose his money.
He will have to repair that T-34 for quite a lengthy time, actually. It takes quite a long time to repair tanks in Company of Heroes 2, especially if you only do it with 1 combat engineer. It takes quite a long time.
Stug is just rolling around in the middle.
Second Stug, 1 in the center and 1 rolling up to the north, and the VP is there trying to stop the Vet 2 conscript from capping it. Too little, too late. However, there's a Grenadier squad as well trying to reclaim those territories right now. Barton is actually down to 158 VPs already. SunAngel is still sitting on 350 plus, which is really good for him because he has been losing the territory war since the mid-game, basically. He's reclaimed it and then lost it again and then reclaimed it and lost it again. But when it comes to the VPs, he's quite dominant right now. He has more than double the amount of VPs compared to Barton.
Yeah, he's in a very good... I mean, he's still not in a bad position at all. I mean, his army is still very big. He's just got to use it to actually, you know, make a breakout and crack this sort of this defensive line. It's the MGs that seem to be giving him a real headache. Some nice AT nades thrown through the hedge here on this Stug. There's an AT gun focusing it down now. It's in real bad shape.
MG gets decrewed by a mortar just outside of the house on the right-hand side of the VP, and this Stug now is getting pursued by the 2 conscripts, and he can't really defend himself.
He doesn't have the munitions for another 18-8.
Oh, he doesn't? Oh.
No, not yet. It's going to be another few seconds. There it is. There's the 18-8. Oh no, it's still not dead. He's going to have to wait for another half a minute before he has the munitions to kill it off. He might not be able to get it.
No, he's not going to be able to get it. There's double Flamer Pyros. One is forced retreat, however, but there's a Grenadier squad, and that double Shrek Panzer Grenadier also moving out, forcing off the last conscript squad from SunAngel now. That Stug is actually going to live.
That's a lucky Stug there. However, it's going to be out of the action for a long time there with a damaged engine and very, very low health. Maybe even the T-34, if it could get repaired quick enough, could go in there and try and do some damage. Looking at us now, the German infantry flanking. That MG needs to flip around. Oh no, but there's an off-map coming in, another off-map.
Yeah, fragmentation bomb is used again. Here comes the plane. I can see it on the minimap. Everything is scattering. Run away, little Soviet guys, run away!
Actually, it doesn't do too much there. The
MG is annihilated, isn't it?
There was a bit of a shocked crew in the T-34 from their eardrums being blown out, but they survived.
I think I saw the MG go down to that off-map from Barton, however. Did it die, or is it still alive?
There's still one MG.
Oh, okay.
He did have 2 at one point, though, so... There's another Vet 3 conscript.
Yeah.
If only his first one had been kept alive, he'd have 3 Vet 3 conscripts at this point.
With assault packages.
All with SMGs and all with a hit the dirt. That would be fearsome.
Yeah, especially since the vehicles now from Barton isn't really specialized in handling infantry, but he does have all of the highly vetted German infantry to counter the vetted Soviet infantry. But you know, you never know what happens in an infantry against infantry battle, especially when Molotov starts flying all over the place and bundle nades. Anybody can really win. It's all down to micro trying to get away from the flames and the explosions.
MG42 stolen, opens up on the Vet 3 Grenadier, pinning it, gonna force it to retreat sometime soon. 18-8 gets thrown on the Stug. There's the damaged engine there. AT gun
is actually Vet 2. I wonder what he's been killing. He's got 8 infantry kills and a vehicle. I think he's actually been using the artillery barrage on that MG and stuff like that.
Ah, that would make it better.
Oh, but these Vet 2 conscripts need to retreat down to 1 man. The AT gun is opening up on the Stug, but what is that guy doing? He sacrificed himself for the motherland, I guess. But
he might have sacrificed himself to keep line of sight on the Stug, possibly. But he's lost line of
Stug. Stationary.
He's nearly dead. But there's a huge flank coming in now. Huge Axis flank coming in from the south. MG42, though, has been turned to face the correct direction.
Nice. The mortar did get bundle naded down to 3 men, very low health. The Stug in the center is actually trying to snipe the guys on retreat now. But both of the infantry squads, the Pioneer and the Panzer Grenadier squad, were actually pinned by the stolen MG. Stug goes out of control, explodes in fiery glory. Everything is dying in this game.
Flame Empire went for a flank on the AT gun, but still wasn't able to kill it. Hit the dirt conscripts now. A Vet 3, it's Vet 3 Grenadiers with LMGs. But those conscripts really doing a number on them there, forcing them to retreat. They might even be in danger of going down there, but nope, they're going to make it out. That was a bloodbath those last couple of minutes.
Yeah, both players are fighting very fiercely over all of the territories right now. Barton is in control of 2 out of the 3 VPs, and he really needs to stay that way because he is down to 151 VPs. He's slowly draining the Soviet player, though.
Oh, well, that's the thing. SunAngel has time on his side, and he has the fuel for another T-34 in just a minute as well, if he is so inclined. But you've got to be careful, as always, when you're facing these Stugs. They're very good against T-34s.
Barton has such a healthy munitions income due to these 3 Opel Blitz trucks, but you have to also consider that he actually spent 600 manpower on those. They're 200 each. So for that investment, you would imagine that you get quite a lot of resources, and he's sitting on just a metric ton of fuel, 630 in the bank. But the main problem is obviously his manpower income, down to 163 when he has the 1 Stug, the 1 P4, and the 3 Opel Blitz trucks, and he's actually lost both of his MGs, though.
More conscripts coming in from the side. The Vet 3 conscript in the middle are forced to retreat. I'd love to see a Soviet off-map here, but SunAngel, for better or for worse, he's been so on top of never floating resources that he just doesn't have the munitions for an off-map.
I couldn't even manage to polish off that Stug with the secondary 18 aid that we saw before. If
Yeah, every little scrap of munitions, as soon as he gets it, he spends it. Every scrap of fuel or manpower, as soon as he gets it, he spends it. I think now he is floating for another T-34. That's what I suspect anyway.
Fragmentation bombs in the north on that T-34 and MG, but SunAngel actually saw that off-map icon, the little bomb that you can see on the map, and retreated his MG. They did take 2 casualties on the retreat. But the T-34, however, got a shocked crew, and it's been stationed here for a little while, and the P-4 is moving in on it now.
I think this T-34 is going to be toast. There's no real support. He's not even backing away there. Oh,
the driver is now injured. He can't move, even if he wanted to move.
There we go. It explodes, and there goes that single T-34. He could have really done with that. That T-34 was incredibly useful for keeping the blobs at bay when they came, but now it's all about the conscripts. 3 conscripts, an MG, a mortar, and an AT gun. That's SunAngel's army in a nutshell.
Barton's army is just growing. It's kind of snowballing right now, and he's got
fragmentation bombs coming into the middle.
No, it's a strafe. Strafe.
Oh, is it a strafe? Okay.
Yeah, strafe. Nevertheless, that strafe is going to stop him from going into the center. So, you know,
I think the strafe can actually pin at his base, can't it? Yeah, it pins him at his base. Oh,
they do
boy.
get unpinned very quickly, though.
Here he comes again. He's not. Is he going to be able to get out of his base? Actually, a shot at something else this time. A shot at the AT gun, I think. And wow, Vet 3 AT gun. After killing 2 vehicles, that thing is very, very tough indeed. I wonder what it gets for Vet. It gets increased weapon damage and adds to the armor as well. Vet 2 increases weapon damage too. So it's got to be it's got to do a lot of damage now. Yeah.
That was one. If you look at the slug in the center right now on the health bar, that was 1 shot. One.
Oh wow.
So potentially he could 3-shot a Stug with a Vet 3 AT gun.
That's pretty scary. Unfortunately, with only 1 AT gun and 2 tanks, he can't be everywhere at once. And this strafing run it lasts for so long, and it's keeping SunAngel really pinned down.
He can't move out of his base right now.
And look at the map as well. Just look at it. It's for me, it's entirely red. Just the whole map has been taken by Barton now.
I think we're gonna have one last massive clash, maybe trying to reclaim. Most likely, I would suspect that SunAngel might go for the north here because that houses 2 VPs. You know, everything is basically in the center. He knows that the Stugs are both in the center, and he could most likely advance to the north if he gets lucky with some AT gun placement, etc. And combined with this T-34 now, he really needs to take everything he has and just blitz his way through the north and get the 2 VPs and drain Barton down to 0 from his remaining 129 VPs.
Yep, this is what it's going to boil down to now. This is the final charge of the Soviet infantry. He needs to focus himself in one particular point, but he's kind of spreading himself out a little bit.
We do have 2 flavor pyros coming in from the
another
south
fragmentation bomb coming in on the AT gun. That's going to shut down this attack for now. Boom, actually decrews the MG on retreat. Barton's munitions income must be huge. He is able to just spam these off maps.
Yeah, he's got 58 income, and then he gets resources from the trucks now and then as well, and suddenly it pops up, you know, 10 munitions here and there.
Flamers forced to retreat. T-34 is just kind of chilling out, doesn't really know what to do. All is...
I don't think he can do anything either. Going to the north, there's a P4 to battle off 2 Grenadiers. They're all Vet 3, and he's got 2 Shreks on the Panzer Grenadiers as well. It's just too much.
Look at all the bodies of conscripts here, getting blown around by the awesome physics.
SunAngel is desperately trying to get out of his base, basically. The only sector he has in possession is his base sector. But look at all these tanks now. The Stugs, the P4, and the Panzer Grenadiers, and the Vet 3 Grenadiers. Everything is so vetted. It's hardened veterans from the Austria army now against these... I don't know, he's got a Vet 3 conscript squad, but that's basically it. And he's actually lost his super awesome Vet 3 AT gun with the increased damage.
Oh, and strafing the base just to put the boot in there. I think this is going to be the end for SunAngel. The Stugs and the P4s, yeah, the AT gun actually gets destroyed now. There's no more proper AT. SunAngel is confined entirely now to his base sector with very little chance of breaking out, and there it goes.
The plane was taking another turn as well, and that would put SunAngel in his base for a little while longer. You know, he wouldn't be able to move out before those last remaining 88 VPs would have been drained, really. It's just too hard to get back from a triple VP when you're caught in your base sector.
Yeah, it was a great fight though put up by SunAngel. It did feel like it was a bit one-sided, but he did manage to keep up the pressure the whole time. And that early game with the conscripts and the Molotovs really worked well. I think that is sort of, when people think of conscript spam right now as a sort of a metagame strategy, that is how people think of it being played. Lots of flanking, make use of the Ura ability, make use of the hit the dirt when it gets unlocked, because it's only a 1 CP ability, you get it very early.
Yeah, make use of the Molotovs and you doing those three-pronged, the three-pronged attack in the center was so awesome. That completely forced Barton off the field. He had nothing on the field apart from one Pioneer just capping around in the south. Everything else was forced to retreat because there was just conscripts everywhere.
Yeah, it was brilliant stuff indeed. Well, thanks guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do leave us a comment, leave us some feedback. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.
See you guys.